As soon as the woman opened the door, she discovered another woman inside her husband's room. Feeling deeply betrayed, she slapped her husband at once, and the scene quickly descended into chaos, but her husband, stronger and larger, pushed her roughly aside without mercy. The woman was severely injured and later moved downstairs from the upper floor. John, a young boy living next door, heard the noise and rushed over to check. As soon as he stepped inside, he found the neighbor's wife lying on the floor covered in blood, with no sign of life. Before John could react, the husband came downstairs, holding a blood-stained knife. Terrified, John turned and ran, fearing his secret would be exposed. The husband chased after him immediately. A sudden accident along the way soon alerted nearby neighbors. In the end, John passed away from serious injuries. At that moment, thunder and lightning suddenly flashed across the sky. Many years passed in the blink of an eye. After John's passing, his mother left the city. Later, Lisa and her family moved into the house. While cleaning the attic, they found an old TV and a video camera. Curious, the couple played what was stored inside. Just then, thunder crashed outside, and the lights inside flickered repeatedly. Suddenly, the screen began playing a news broadcast from 25 years earlier. Jack thought it was part of the tape, but when he checked, he found the news was not on the tape at all. The TV had played it on its own. The two assumed it was just signal interference. But in the early hours of that same day, strange things happened again. Lisa was woken by thunder, and the old TV turned on by itself. Lisa walked toward the light and saw the TV playing news from 25 years ago. She reached to turn it off, but thunder and lightning struck again outside. The screen suddenly changed, and John's image appeared. He was greeting Lisa, shocked and scared. Lisa tried to leave, but then remembered what had happened to John. She turned the TV back on and quickly explained her situation, saying she had moved into the house where he once lived. Just then, John heard the sound of arguing and fighting from next door again. Lisa urgently told him not to go over. John didn't understand why. To stop him, Lisa showed John his own tape, proving she was really someone from 25 years later living in his old house. But John could not understand what she was talking about. Helpless, Lisa took out her phone and showed him reports about John's tragic accident years ago, hoping to stop him from going outside and repeating the tragedy. John refused to believe her and thought it was just a prank. Lisa then told him that his school would be hit by lightning the next day, causing a power failure and a 1-week suspension. She told him to stay home, and he would know she was telling the truth. If he went out, something terrible would happen to him. Terrified by her words, John rushed out of the house despite Lisa's warnings. As he ran into the yard, a car passed close by, but no accident happened as he had feared. The next day, John went to school as usual, only to find that, just as Lisa had said, the storm had caused a power failure, and school was suspended for a week. Shocked by the news, John hurried home and turned on the TV, hoping to contact Lisa again. Meanwhile, Lisa was facing unprecedented challenges after changing John's fate. When she woke up the day after talking to John, she found herself in a hospital duty room. Even more shocking, she had only been a nurse, but was now told she was a lead surgeon about to perform an operation. Scared, Lisa ran out of the operating room. She planned to pick up her daughter from kindergarten, but when she asked the teachers and classmates, no one had ever seen her daughter. Lisa completely panicked. She did not know this was only the beginning. She asked a close parent friend about her daughter, but the woman had never seen her daughter and did not even recognize Lisa. She then went to her husband Jack's workplace to ask what was going on, but the receptionist did not know her either. Distraught, Lisa rushed into Jack's office and asked anxiously what was happening. Jack did not recognize her at all and innocently asked if she knew him. At first Lisa thought Jack was joking, but seeing his cold attitude, she broke down completely. Clearly, Lisa's life had changed completely. Jack was no longer her husband, and they had never had a child. Lisa was overwhelmed by the sudden changes. She went to the police station for help, hoping they could uncover the truth. After checking her information, the officer's reply left Lisa devastated. He said her address was wrong, she had never been married, and there was no record of any daughter. The officer even thought she was unwell and sent her to the hospital for a full checkup. But the results showed Lisa's brain was normal. She only had confused memories, mistaking Jack, a former patient, for her husband. Despite the absurd reality, Lisa firmly believed everything was connected to John. Watching the storm outside, Lisa suddenly realized something. She left the hospital at once and drove back to her old home, only to find the door had been broken into. Ignoring it, she rushed upstairs to the storage room and found the old TV and tapes gone. The house's layout and furniture had completely changed. It was no longer her home. She saw a computer on the desk and quickly searched for John's name, only to discover John was merely a character in a novel. No such person seemed to exist in real life. Just then, a woman rushed in with a club. Mistaking Lisa for a burglar, Lisa quickly explained she was not a thief. Unable to convince her, the woman called her husband over. The man was stunned to see Lisa. She could not believe the homeowner was Jack. Watching the man she once knew as her husband now married to someone else, Lisa tried to prove she was Jack's wife, but all her memories had been rewritten. The current Jack did not know her and told his wife to call the police. Lisa knew she would be arrested if she stayed, making it impossible to solve the mystery. Fortunately, as police arrived, thunder and lightning struck and the entire block lost power, allowing Lisa to escape. Meanwhile, John, who had not been able to contact Lisa, remembered her warning and decided to check if the neighbor had really harmed his wife. He waited until the neighbor left, then snuck inside and found the woman's remains in the bathroom. Before he could leave, he heard the neighbor return. In a panic, he hid under the bed and found a lady's gold watch on the floor. Soon the neighbor carried 2 large bags into the bathroom, and John watched from under the bed as the neighbor used tools to clean up the scene. After a long time, The neighbor finished and prepared to leave, when the bedroom phone suddenly rang. He answered and learned the woman he had been seeing had lost a gold watch in the bedroom and asked him to look for it. John heard the conversation and hid behind the sofa just before the neighbor checked under the bed. He successfully escaped with the watch and went to the police with his mother. But the police chief told them the neighbor had also called, claiming someone had broken in and stolen a gold watch. The chief confirmed John's story, but the neighbor insisted his wife had returned to Germany days earlier. Credit and flight records seemed to support this, so the chief had John return the watch. Elsewhere, Lisa accidentally saw an interview about the storm, featuring a science fiction writer. Earlier, when she searched for John, she saw a novel with a main character named John. The author now told the host his novel was based on a young boy's experiences, which others had dismissed as hallucinations. This meant John had survived and told his story to the writer, who only took it as fantasy. Lisa immediately went to the police officer, and together they found the novel in the library. On the cover it read, "For John." After reading the novel and seeing it matched Lisa's experience exactly, the officer began to believe her. They visited the writer to ask about John, but the author said she only met John's mother and had no idea where he was now. She also refused to believe storms could twist time or allow communication through TVs, dismissing it all as hallucinations. But Lisa, having lived through it, knew it was real. She was experiencing the same time warp from the novel. Still, Lisa refused to give up. She wanted to return to the past and find her daughter, but the author said it would only be possible under the exact same conditions as before, and the storm would end in 24 hours. To get her old life back, Lisa had to find John's old TV. She realized someone must have stolen it after seeing the broken door at Jack's house, but without a warrant, the officer could not help. Lisa then remembered Jack had researched the old case online. The neighbor, under police questioning, had mentioned where he planned to dispose of the body. If they found the wife's remains at his slaughterhouse, they could prove the neighbor lied and get a warrant to search the house for the TV. Following Lisa's lead, officers dug below the slaughterhouse warehouse and found human remains, though formal identification was still needed. On the way back to the station, the officer told Lisa that while the remains made the neighbor the main suspect, Lisa was also under suspicion. Still, he agreed to help her and secretly let her go. Before leaving, he wrote down a hotel room number and told her she would understand everything if she went there. Thinking the officer had found John, Lisa rushed to the hotel room, only to find Jack with her best friend. Although Jack was not her husband in this reality, she recognized matches on the coffee table, the same kind she had found in her husband's pocket, meaning Jack had also been unfaithful here, but she ignored it, certain Jack, as a bank manager, could find John's information, otherwise the officer would not have sent her there. She blackmailed Jack with his affair and forced him to take her to the bank to search for John. Meanwhile, the officer brought the neighbor and his current wife in for questioning. The chief who had handled John's report years earlier also joined the interview. The neighbor had claimed his wife was in Germany, but forensic results confirmed the remains were his wife's, proving he had lied. The gold watch John found had 2 initials engraved on the back, matching the neighbor's current wife. This meant she had been there the night of the incident. Elsewhere, Lisa and Jack arrived at the bank and quickly found John's current address in the system. Lisa hurried there at once and was shocked to discover the officer who had helped her was none other than John himself. Even more unbelievable, in this world, John was her husband. As Lisa stood confused, John came home from work and told her the truth. Years ago, after connecting with Lisa across time, everyone thought he was unstable. To prove he was right, he waited by the TV for Lisa to appear again, but she never did. Seeing his pain, his mother moved them away. Even so, John never stopped searching for answers. During their connection, he had seen a train station sign in Lisa's home, so he visited the station often, hoping to meet her. Years later, he finally saw Lisa there, but she had not yet experienced the time warp and had no idea who he was. John fell in love with her at first sight and decided to let go of the past, winning her over and building a life together. When Lisa ran to the police station that day, John realized she was going through the same time warp. Though he wondered why she had never contacted him again, he was more afraid of losing the woman he loved. So he secretly broke into Jack's house and hid the old TV. Even knowing the truth, Lisa could not abandon her daughter and insisted on returning to her original life, even threatening extreme measures to make John give her the TV. Helpless, John rushed to the storage room, took out the old TV, and contacted his younger self, telling him not to seek answers or look for Lisa, or she would suffer because of him. The weather suddenly shifted, and the storm causing the time warp finally ended. Lisa woke up suddenly back in her familiar room, as if the strange ordeal had never happened. The only difference was the old TV was gone from the storage room. Confused, she asked her husband about it, but he said he had never seen such a TV. Looking at her husband, Lisa suddenly realized something. She ran downstairs and found the matchbox he had thrown away, printed with the name of the hotel where she had seen him, proving Jack had cheated in this reality too. Just then she saw the neighbor and his wife passing by. Realizing the neighbor was alive meant John had also avoided the accident. She drove to the neighbor's slaughterhouse and dug up his wife's remains below the warehouse. When police arrived after her call, John quickly appeared on the scene. Though John no longer remembered Lisa, she knew deep down he was her true destiny. The movie ends here. See you next time.